What's up, guys? Snowy day here in the Motor City. It started to melt off a bit now, but past couple of days we've been getting snow and it's cold, man. Cold, cold, cold. But you know how it goes. That never stops us. We just keep pushing and keep working. And today in the shop, working hard on the Acura project. So you guys may recall we've been working trying to get the subframe swapped out. And today, after a bunch of trials and tribulations and hard work, I finally was able to get the damaged cradle out. And now we can really get a good look at just how bad this thing was damaged. There you see the replacement, but here is the cradle. Look at that, guys. Major cracking and fracturing of this cradle in multiple places. You know, now we can see this big crack up top a little bit better. And same here on this side. That weld is about to crack. And there's a couple other things I was able to see from the bottom. But pretty much that shows us that we had a big issue there. I could take some measurements and we'd probably see that this side is a little bit twisted and kicked back. I don't think I'm going to do that though, but so you can see the engine traverse bar is doing its job. It's holding up the engine and transmission now. The engine is just slightly dipped back a little bit, but it's good to go. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to fall out. I was fortunate enough to be able to keep the steering gear in the car. I used some bungees to hold it up, and it's actually got a bracket that's got it bolted on to the back side of the engine. It's a small bracket, but you know, it's good. It's held in place. It could sit there for a while. And the main thing there is, like I said, this car is electric power steering, and I didn't want to risk separating the gear and potentially moving the steering wheel and causing an issue with the SAS, or steering angle sensor, that would cause all kinds of problems. But just a quick update, just to show you guys I'm still working on it. We made some progress. I'm going to now start to prep this other cradle. While I got it out, I'm going to check all these bolt holes and make sure they're good. I already found one potential problem on one of these steering gear bracket bolts. This top one here, I was having a hard time getting the bolt to thread in, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, guys, I just wanted to bring you back because on further inspection, it seems fairly obvious that this front cradle is actually bent. If you guys take a look, the front bar, it kind of is bowed and kicked back, and if you look at the replacement, straight. No bowing, no curvature. Oh, that's funny. I look like somebody at the junkyard put that on their WTF. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, and you can clearly see, you know, that weld right there is solid all the way across. And this one, bam, cracked to hell. So it hit something and it hit it hard, you know. And it's really just a blessing that it didn't hit it up higher, which could have caused some, you know, body structural damage. But yeah, that thing is whooped. Man, not looking forward to putting the other one back in after all that work, but it's all gonna be worth it once the car is on the road. You know, it's not easy, but you know, if you work hard and you keep going, you too can do this. Honestly, this is one where if I had to do it again, it'd be one of those things, and I had the money, I'd pay somebody to do it, because this is some bus-ass work, pardon my language, but it's one of those things where it'd be much, much easier if the car was up on a hoist. But then again, I don't even know, because there's what I had problems with is some of these bolts in the back. You can't really see them, but there's like a bracket that goes on top of here, covering the steering gear, and the engine mount sits on top of that. And it is a pita, or a pain in the you-know-what, to get to those bolts, and they all have Loctite on them for safety, right? It is motor mounts. They don't want them to come backing out or getting loose.
but that makes it tremendously difficult to break them loose with hand tools. But it can be done, but you know, that thing is sitting at the bottom and I had to access them from the top. So I had to stack a bunch of extensions because, you know, maybe my toolbox doesn't have all the perfect tools for this, but I made it work. But like I'm saying, it had to take some extraordinary circumstances to get to the bolts that were holding some of these things in. But like I said, if you try and you keep pushing, you can get it done. So yeah, there it is. We have the old junk cradle out, and like I said, I'm going to spend some time trying to now look this one over and make sure all the bolt holes are good. Starting to tell you guys, there's one of them that seemed like the bolt didn't want to get started, so I want to try and chase the threads. Now I could run into an issue there because I don't really have a metric tap and die set to allow me to really chase those threads. So man, if it ain't one thing, it's another. So we'll see what we can do. Hopefully those threads aren't damaged. But worst case scenario, that means I'd have to invest in a tap and die tool set, which I'm not really planning to do, man. It's, you know, I got a lot of other things going on and not trying to be buying tools and stuff right now. Could really use a sponsor. If you're a tool vendor out there and you want to hook me up, I'm here doing a bunch of cool work, so show some love. But it's probably a long way off for me. So I'm just going to keep pushing, guys. I'll come back to you guys. I don't want to talk you to death, but as you can see, we're making good progress. I'm torn on even posting this because for whatever reason, once again, this, you know, my last video did terrible on this car. So I don't know what it is. People aren't really into it on my channel. Like I said, I more so do the old school Impalas and whatnot. So, but you know, I'm still trying to share. Somebody can learn from this. Somebody can get motivated from it. There's not much content out here on these particular cars and how to do some of this stuff. And honestly, although I haven't given a whole lot of information on how to do this stuff, like I said, I haven't given like detailed mechanical breakdowns on how to do it. But you know, if you have a question, you're working on this kind of car, just leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to help you out, you know. If nothing else, you should be able to diagnose what one of these looks like when it's bad now. You know, you can clearly see that this one is not good. Okay, that's it for now. As I like to say, time for less yapping and more working. So we'll be back. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, I wanted to come back to you because I did find that we have a problem with some of the threads in this this new cradle. Don't know what happened, but you know, that's one of the things that's hard to determine when you're buying used parts, right? It's not like you're able to test every bolt hole before you get it, but let's see if the camera can pick it up. If you look closely, I don't know if you guys can tell, but the threads are kind of marred or a little chewed up right at the very beginning of where it would start to thread in. Hard to get to focus, but if you can see that, that's chewed up enough to prevent the bolt from starting to thread in there. And the last thing we want to do is get this thing back in the car and try to put it together and be fumbling and having a problem with that, because it's really tough to access once it's in the car. So with that like that, fortunately that's not damaged bad enough to create a huge issue, but the correct thing to do now is to go ahead and chase those threads and, you know, tap it back out. So I'm not exactly sure. This is the bolt, and I don't know, you know, what pitch and size those threads are. So there's a nut and bolt specialty shop not too far from my house. So I'm gonna just plan to take this bolt with me, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to get there in enough time before they close to take this bolt in and see if they can't help me with a tap. You know, I know it's probably gonna be a little costly for one single one, but if nothing else, I'll get the pitch and thread and determine what tap I need, and even if I don't buy it from them, I can then maybe Amazon it and know I got the right thing the first time around. And then I'll come in here and we'll chase these threads and we should be good to go. Really, I could do with a whole set because I might run into that problem on a couple other holes. But, you know, that's just how it goes. Like I said, I can't be spending, you know, money on all kinds of tools that I only need to use once. So I'm gonna try and do it smart and just buy the one that I need instead of a full kit, if that's even an option. So I'll do some research and we'll see. But just want to give you guys an update, man. Just when you think you can just slap this bad boy back in, because that is actually what I wanted to do. I wanted to at least not get it fully assembled, but at least back in there and supporting the engine and transmission. Because, you know, although this traverse bar is doing what it's supposed to do, I don't like leaving the engine and transmission dangling from this only, you know. Gravity might want to take over. But anyway, it is what it is, man. We're not going to cry over the issue. We're just going to do our best to fix it. Let me see if I can show you what the threads should look like. Oh, man, if we can focus. Maybe you can see a little better there. See, those are nice all the way to the top. And our other ones are kind of chewed up. My guess is that they had the cradle kind of dangling when they took those bolts out and they got some stress on it at the end. Maybe they didn't have the bolts fully out and they thought they did. But whatever the case may be, we're gonna get it back together. So that's it for now, guys. That's gonna put us at a stopping point on the work for today, you know. But a major hurdle has been cleared. You know, we got the bad part out and we identified a small issue here with the good part. So yeah, all we got to do is keep working, because it ain't gonna fix itself. That's it. I'm your host, Shawnee C at Motor City Customs. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any content. Select all. And yeah, that's it for now, guys. Be safe out there and stay tuned, because as always, we'll be working on something. I'm out of here. Peace.